There comes a moment when silence speaks louder than 1,000 desperate messages. A moment when your absence becomes your loudest presence. You do not need to call. You do not need to text. You need only to remember who you are. The one who once doubted their worth is gone. In their place stands someone who no longer seeks outside themselves for approval, for closure, for recognition. They walked away, not from you, but from the idea of you they failed to fully grasp. Let them go. Let them sit with the void your presence once filled. Because when you no longer chase, the universe must turn toward you. You must understand. Your reality reflects not what others think of you, but what you believe about yourself. If you assume you are the one who has left, you live that script. But if you assume you are the gift that was unrecognized, the treasure that was misplaced, then life will reflect that assumption in ways that astound you. And they will feel it. Not because you said anything, but because you said nothing. In the silence, your energy speaks. Your transformation becomes the thunder that shakes their soul. You do not need to remind them of your worth. Your worth is not up for discussion. It is a silent knowing, radiating through the very atmosphere. When you stop trying to prove, you start to create. When you withdraw your energy, it returns to you tenfold, charged with clarity and power. Do not be tempted to reach out for crumbs. You are the feast. You are the vision they once touched and couldn't hold. Let the distance do its work. Let your evolution humble them. Let your glow haunt the edges of their awareness. But more than this, let it be about you. Let your silence not be revenge, but revelation. The revelation that you were always whole, always radiant, always divine. You simply forgot, and now you remember. Don't call, don't text, don't explain. Assume the highest version of yourself and live there. And if they must feel regret, let it be the echo of a life that could have been, but was too blind to see. You've risen, now stay there. Silence is your spiritual power. It is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of alignment. When you are silent, not because you have nothing to say, but because you have nothing to prove, you step into a sacred place of dominion. You no longer seek outside yourself for confirmation of who you are. You rest in the deep knowing that your value is not determined by anyone else's inability to see it. We have been conditioned to believe that action, noise, and reaction are signs of strength. But this is an illusion. True power never screams. It doesn't chase. It doesn't beg. It doesn't need to correct, explain, or defend. Why? Because it already knows, it already is. Silence then is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the decision to withdraw from the chaotic need to be heard and instead align with the truth that does not change. When someone leaves you, betrays you, misunderstands you, your first instinct may be to call, to text, to explain your side. That is the old you reacting from fear, from lack, from a desire to be seen. But once you awaken, you realize something divine. You are never meant to convince anyone of your worth. The moment you try to prove, you admit you doubt it. But when you go silent, not out of anger, not out of pride, but out of power, you declare to the universe, I know who I am. And that is enough. In that silence, your energy recalibrates, your self-concept solidifies. And ironically, it is in that moment that others begin to feel your absence, not just physically, but spiritually. Your presence lingers because it was rooted in authenticity, in truth, in love. And now your silence becomes the mirror they cannot avoid. They see themselves more clearly because you've stepped away. You've stopped feeding the illusion, and the mask falls. But this silence is not passive, it is creative. It is where reality bends. As you go within, as you hold to your vision of self, calm, whole, radiant, you begin to shift timelines. You're no longer reacting to the world, you are shaping it. And the more you stay silent, the more you hear. You hear the whispers of your soul, reminding you that you were never the one who lacked. You were never the one who was less than. You were always the light, but they could not bear to look directly at it. There is something holy about not chasing. There is something regal about staying still when the world expects you to collapse. And it is this spiritual stillness that becomes your shield, your voice, your power. You no longer send messages into the void. You send them inward, into your imagination, and that inner world becomes the womb of your new life. So when the urge rises to explain, to reach, to make them see, pause, breathe. Remember who you are. Remember that silence is not the absence of love, but the presence of it. Love for yourself. You are not punishing them by withholding your words. You are honoring yourself by refusing to dilute your essence in places that do not recognize it. They may come back, they may remember, they may regret, but by then you will be different, elevated, whole, not because they returned, but because you did, to yourself, to the deep, unmoving place within that always knew. Your silence is not emptiness. It is fullness contained. And when you finally realize this, you won't need to say a word. Your life will speak for you. You are not the one who is abandoned. That idea is a lie the world taught you to believe, a shadow cast by ego and fear. When someone walks away from your life, what you must understand deeply at the level of the soul is this: they are not rejecting you, they are turning their back on the mirror that showed them the truth of themselves. You did not lack. You did not fall short. They simply could not face the reflection you held up to them, the reflection of what they were not ready to heal, to grow into, or to receive. Their leaving does not mean you are unworthy. It means they were unprepared to meet you in the light you are standing in. They mistook the brightness of your authenticity as discomfort rather than opportunity. When someone cannot meet your depth, they often choose to escape it, and so they go, not because you weren't enough, but because they were afraid of what being with you would require of them. Your love, your honesty, your presence. They are sacred, and not everyone is ready to encounter the divine in human form. You are whole. From the moment you were born, wholeness was your nature. Relationships do not complete you, they reveal you. And when someone leaves, it does not mean you are broken, it simply ends the chapter where your presence was misread, misused, or misunderstood. Their departure does not subtract from your being. If anything, it makes room for you to remember the truth. No one who truly sees you could ever walk away from the treasure they've found. What we call abandonment is often not about us at all. People leave because of their own limitations, wounds, and illusions. They project their fears onto you. They withdraw from the connection not because of your lack, but because of their own. This is why taking their actions personally only binds you to their energy. You begin to spiral into false stories. What did I do wrong? What if I had been better, quieter, more this or less that? But this path leads nowhere. It distracts you from the only truth that matters. You were always enough. You see, when someone walks away, they are not walking away from your essence. They are walking away from what your essence demanded of them. Growth, accountability, presence. And because they were not ready to rise to the occasion, they leave. That is not your burden to carry. That is not your story to fix. Instead of mourning their exit as a loss, begin to view it as a divine protection. You were spared from continuing to pour your love into a vessel that could not hold it. You were saved from shrinking to fit their comfort zone. You were redirected back to yourself, the one who knows how to love without losing, how to give without begging, how to stay grounded when everything around you changes. So hold your head high, not out of pride, but out of remembrance. You are not the abandoned. You are the one they could not handle. You are the one who stayed true while they faltered. And though they may one day come to understand what they walked away from, that realization belongs to them, not you. You owe no explanation for your worth. You owe no change, no closure. You owe only devotion to the self that knows. Being left does not mean being less. It simply means that what they were running from still lives within them, and you were the mirror that exposed it. Stand in that truth. Be unmoved by their exit. You are whole. You have always been, and no one can take away what was never theirs to hold. What you assume about yourself will echo in their mind long after you're gone. This is a powerful truth that often goes unnoticed in the hustle of daily life and relationships. Every thought, every assumption, and every belief you hold about yourself doesn't just shape your own reality. It reverberates in the minds of those who interact with you. It echoes in their thoughts long after they've encountered you, because whether consciously or unconsciously, your self-concept becomes the lens through which they perceive you. And this perception is not just influenced by your words or actions, but by the energy you emit, the silent messages of your inner world. How others see you is in fact a reflection of how you see yourself. If you walk through the world believing you are unworthy, weak, or undeserving, that assumption will project onto everyone around you. They will pick up on the subtle cues you send out, whether it's in your body language, your tone, or even the way you allow them to treat you. And this projection becomes the filter through which they relate to you. But when you begin to change how you see yourself, when you claim your worth and align with your own inner power, it shifts everything. The world around you can no longer see you through the same lens. The energy you bring forth, the assumption of your own value, becomes the message they receive, even if they don't fully understand why. When you hold a high self-concept, one rooted in self-love and self-respect, it commands a different type of interaction. People feel that. They can't always articulate it, but they know. There is a magnetic pull that comes from the belief that you are worthy of greatness. And even when they may not understand you, even when you are no longer in their presence, that energy lingers. It sticks in their minds, prompting questions, lingering thoughts, and sometimes even regret. How did I not see it, they may wonder. How did I let someone like that slip through my fingers? The assumption you had of yourself, your own internal truth, becomes a silent message they can't ignore. It echoes in their consciousness long after you're no longer around. But this is not a game of manipulation or strategy. This is the natural law of attraction. People are always drawn to what they perceive as power, confidence, and self-respect. It's not about being arrogant or overbearing. It's about being in alignment with your true self. When you know your worth, when you carry the assumption that you are worthy of the best life has to offer, that energy becomes contagious. You no longer need to convince anyone of anything because they will feel it without words. Your presence becomes the message, the confirmation, the proof of your own internal truth. Your self-concept is the only message that truly matters. It's the one that shapes your experiences, that guides the choices you make, and that ultimately determines how others experience you. If you see yourself as small, others will treat you as such. If you believe you are weak or unworthy of respect, that is exactly what you will receive. But if you see yourself as strong, valuable, and deserving of all the goodness life has to offer, that is what others will come to see in you as well. The external world will always reflect your inner world. This is not something you can escape. It's the way the universe operates. So, as you move through life, remember that the assumptions you hold about yourself are not just personal. They are universal. They shape your reality and leave an imprint on the minds of everyone you encounter. Your self-concept is the message they receive long after you have left the room, long after your words have faded. And when you finally come to realize this, you begin to see that the most important work is not what you say or do, it's what you believe about yourself. When you change that belief, everything else must change. Desire not their return, desire your elevation. This is the truth the world often tries to distract you from. The natural urge when someone leaves or when something falls apart is to look outward, to wish for things to go back to the way they were. But nothing of lasting value is ever found by looking behind you. What has gone has served its part. What has left has fulfilled its role. Clinging to the past is like watering a dead garden. It does not bring life. It only delays your blooming. The power lies not in begging for their return, nor in wondering if they still think of you. The true power lies in choosing your elevation. When you rise in consciousness, when you shift your inner state to a higher understanding, a deeper self-love, a firmer belief in your own worth, you no longer ask for what once was. You realize you are never waiting on them to return. You are waiting on you to rise. This is not about revenge or pride. This is about alignment. Your life is not a collection of random events. It is a mirror. It reflects you, your assumptions, your beliefs, your identity. If someone leaves you while you are in a lower state of consciousness and you later elevate to a higher state, one of confidence, worthiness, peace, and purpose, that person must either rise to meet you or fade out of your experience. Not because you forced them to go, but because the new frequency cannot hold the old pattern. You see, the people in your life are not permanent fixtures. They are reflections. Each of them is drawn to the state you are embodying. If your self-concept is one of lack, unworthiness, or dependency, then those who enter your life will echo that story. But when you shift, when you begin to see yourself as whole, loved, radiant, and complete, then those who once matched your old state will either transform or be removed. And this is why you must not desire their return. To wish for them to come back is to anchor yourself to the version of you that they left. You must instead focus all your energy on your own ascension. Who are you when you are no longer seeking approval? Who are you when you are no longer trying to be chosen? Who are you when you decide that you are already enough? That is where your power lives, in your elevation, not their validation. The truth is, your new level cannot hold their old behavior. And that's not a punishment, it's a purification. It means you are shedding the illusions that once bound you. It means you are becoming more of who you truly are, someone who no longer tolerates inconsistency, dishonor, or emotional confusion. Someone who no longer seeks love through self-abandonment. Someone who does not wait, beg, or prove, but someone who embodies, let your rising do the speaking. Let your stillness be the answer. Let your transformation be the only closure you ever need. Those who are meant to walk with you at your new level will do so not because you call them back, but because they chose to evolve as well. And those who do not, bless them silently, for they have served their role as mirrors of your past. Do not confuse longing with love. Do not mistake loneliness for divine guidance. Your soul is calling you to move forward, not in search of a person, but in pursuit of your true self. The more you focus on your own becoming, the less you will need anyone to return to you. So rise. With dignity, with faith, with quiet certainty, The higher you ascend in consciousness, the more everything around you must conform to your new state. The old must either evolve or exit. And that is not a loss. That is the law. Let absence work on your behalf. Let it speak volumes in ways your words never could. There is a mysterious force in silence, a force that moves not with noise, not with pleading, not with effort, but with stillness, with restraint, with quiet certainty. In a world where people chase, explain, and overexpress, your absence becomes a message too loud to ignore. When someone walks away or treats you with indifference, the instinct is to fill the void, to explain, to reach out, to seek clarity. But this need to react often comes from a fear that silence means loss. It doesn't. True loss comes when you abandon yourself to stay visible in someone else's life. But when you withdraw and stand still in your own power, you give your absence permission to speak. It will echo in the spaces they once shared with you, in the moments they expect you to call, in the seconds their phone remains still. It will linger in their mind, not because of manipulation, but because of contrast. Human beings remember energy. They remember the presence of someone who carried truth, sincerity, and emotional weight. And when that presence is suddenly no longer available, the absence becomes undeniable. Silence has a language of its own. It doesn't beg, but it teaches. It teaches them what your presence truly meant. It allows them to reflect, to notice, to wonder. It gives them the space to confront their own emptiness without your constant reassurance. Sometimes your silence is the mirror they need to face their own behavior. Sometimes your absence reveals more than your words ever could. But this kind of silence is not passive. It is not the silence of defeat. It is the silence of knowing who you are, knowing your value, knowing that your worth does not diminish because someone fails to recognize it. It is the silence of a soul that refuses to beg for what is already divinely deserved. The seeds planted in silence are powerful. They take root not in haste, but in time. They grow slowly, invisibly beneath the surface of their mind. Days may pass, weeks perhaps, and then, suddenly, they feel it. The realization, the shift, the weight of your absence, which once seemed unimportant, becomes too heavy to ignore. It is then that they begin to understand what your presence carried, not because you chased them, not because you reminded them, but because you chose silence, because you let your absence speak the truth. And during this time, you are not waiting, you are rising, you are growing in strength, in vision, in purpose. You are turning inward, elevating your state of consciousness and aligning with a version of yourself that no longer needs to be chosen to feel valuable. This is the power of stillness. It centers you. It protects your energy. It reminds you that what is meant for you cannot be lost, and what is not meant for you will fall away, no matter how loud your words may be. When you choose silence, you choose self-respect. When you let absence speak, you allow the universe to move on your behalf. You no longer interfere. You no longer control. You allow space to do its sacred work. So do not underestimate what your silence is doing. Do not think you are forgotten. You are being remembered, slowly, deeply, in ways you cannot see. Let that be enough. Let the absence do what your presence could not. Let it whisper in the chambers of their heart what you once screamed with your words. Because the truth is, your energy was never invisible. It was simply taken for granted. Until now, you are always the operant power. Create. Don't chase. This is the sacred truth that the world forgets and that you must remember. You were never made to beg, to chase, to cling to outcomes or people as if they held your destiny in their hands. No, You are the center of your reality, the author, the director, the one who decides what is true for you. And until you awaken to that truth, you will continue to seek outside yourself what has always lived within. Chasing is the belief that what you want is separate from you. It is the idea that you must run towards something in order to possess it. But in truth, creation is not about pursuit, it is about assumption. It is not about forcing your will on the outer world, but about surrendering to the inner knowing that you are already what you seek. You do not chase what you already are, you assume it. The only pursuit that matters is the pursuit of the self, the assumption of your own magnificence, your own power, your own divine identity. That is the foundation upon which all things rest. If you see yourself as valuable, whole, and worthy, your world cannot help but reflect that back to you. But if you see yourself as lacking, unworthy, or forgotten, you will continue to attract experiences that echo that belief. You see, you are not a passive participant in this life. You are not a victim of random events or people's decisions. You are the cause, the operant power. Whatever you assume to be true within you must express itself around you. This is not philosophy, it is law. When you understand this, you stop chasing and start creating. You stop trying to convince others of your worth and begin to embody it in silence. When you chase someone's attention, their love, their approval, what are you really doing? You are telling the universe, I am not enough unless they choose me. And the universe, ever obedient, mirrors that belief. But when you choose yourself, when you assume your worth and act as though it is already acknowledged, the outer world bends to reflect that new assumption. Creation begins with identity. Who are you when no one is looking? Who are you when you are not trying to impress or prove? That version of you, the quiet, powerful, unshaken version, is the real you. And when you operate from that place, you no longer need to chase. You attract, you allow, you command. This is not arrogance, this is alignment. It is knowing that your desires were planted in your heart not to torment you, but to guide you toward who you were always meant to be. And once you become that version within, your world must mirror it without. Let others chase. Let them explain. Let them seek validation. But you remain still. Operate from the assumption that all things are already yours by divine right. Walk in your day as though your desire is a memory, not a wish. Let your imagination claim it now. Let your inner speech align with it now. You are not here to earn love. You are love. You are not here to chase success. You are success in motion. You are not here to prove your worth. You are worth incarnate. So breathe, stand tall, assume boldly, and create from the inside out. Because the moment you stop chasing and begin creating, everything you once ran toward will begin to seek you. Not because you needed it, but because you finally remembered. You were the source all along. Now you understand. You were never meant to beg, plead, or chase after anything in this world. You were born with the power to create, not to convince. Every silence you held, every moment you chose stillness over reaction, every time you elevated instead of engaging in desperation, that was power. That was you remembering who you are. They didn't abandon you. They walked away from their reflection. Your absence didn't go unnoticed. It was felt deeper than your presence ever could be. And while they wrestled with confusion, you rose. You became more. You returned to your throne, not waiting to be chosen, but choosing yourself fully. You are not the effect. You are the cause. You are the center of your world. Let absence speak. Let silence plant seeds. Let your assumption of magnificence lead the way. Do not wait for their return. Rise in consciousness, and in that rising, everything unlike your new state will either match it or fade away. Because in the end, the truth remains. You are the operant power, and from this point on, you no longer chase, you create. Say thank you. Thank you for listening. May you never forget the strength that lives in your silence, the truth that breathes in your stillness, and the power that is always within you.
You are untouched by the noise of the world. There is a sacred power in your silence, a sanctuary where your true self resides unshaken. When you choose to be silent and act as if nothing bothers you, you become a magnet of calm strength, radiating certainty without the need for words or validation. Inner stillness is the quiet, unshakable foundation that lies beneath all true strength. It is the source of our deepest clarity and a wellspring of peace that requires no external validation. Many believe that power is shown in loud, overt actions or in the ability to exert control over others. Yet true power is found not in the noise of force, but in the calm assurance that comes from inner stillness. When we cultivate this stillness, we cultivate a strength that is impenetrable, grounded in the calm knowledge that no external event or person has the power to disturb the peace that lives within us. Inner stillness requires a letting go of the incessant need to react, to prove, or to defend ourselves against the challenges we face. Rather than responding to every disruption in our lives, we learn to observe it, allowing it to pass without clinging to it emotionally. This ability to observe, to watch life unfold without becoming entangled in every twist and turn, gives us a tremendous power. We become less affected by the temporary and more in touch with the eternal, with that part of ourselves that is untouched by time, by opinions, or by fleeting events. This power of inner stillness is especially evident when we encounter situations that, in the past, might have thrown us off balance. Perhaps in the past we would have reacted quickly, allowing anger or frustration to take hold and control our actions. But as we develop our inner stillness, we find ourselves responding with patience, compassion, and understanding. We recognize that we are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances or the moods of others. Instead, we are empowered to choose how we respond from a place of calm. This ability to respond rather than react is one of the most profound gifts of inner stillness. It allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and poise, remaining true to ourselves regardless of what we face. One of the great benefits of inner stillness is clarity. When the mind is filled with constant noise and distraction, it is difficult to see things as they truly are. Our judgment is clouded, our vision obscured by our worries, fears, and desires. But in moments of stillness, when the mind is calm and quiet, clarity arises naturally. We are able to see situations more objectively, free from the biases and emotions that usually color our perceptions. In this state of clarity, decisions become easier, as we are no longer swayed by fleeting thoughts or impulsive reactions. We begin to see the path ahead with a sense of confidence and direction, knowing that our actions are rooted in truth rather than temporary emotions. Inner stillness cultivates a profound sense of connection both with ourselves and with the world around us. When we are constantly busy, caught up in the whirlwind of thoughts and activities, we become disconnected from our true essence. But in moments of stillness, we are able to reconnect with the deeper part of ourselves, the part that is not defined by our roles, achievements, or possessions. We come to understand that our worth does not depend on what we do or what we have, but on who we are at our core. This realization brings a deep sense of peace and contentment, a knowing that we are whole and complete just as we are. In this state of connection, we also begin to feel more attuned to others. We are able to listen more deeply, to understand others without judgment, and to respond with greater empathy and compassion. This is because inner stillness quiets the ego, that part of us that is constantly focused on me and mine. As the ego quiets, we are able to see beyond our own needs and desires, opening ourselves up to a greater sense of unity with others. We realize that we are not separate from those around us, but are part of a larger, interconnected whole. This awareness brings with it a sense of harmony and belonging, a feeling that we are never truly alone. Inner stillness is about finding freedom from the limitations of our own minds, from the endless cycle of wants and fears, from the need for approval or validation. It is a freedom that comes from knowing that we are enough, just as we are. When we are rooted in this stillness, we are no longer swayed by the opinions of others or by the changing tides of circumstance. We become like the deep ocean, calm and unshaken, even as waves crash on the surface. In this stillness, we find our true power, a power that is not dependent on anything outside of us, a power that is ours unconditionally. And in this power, we find peace. With unshakable confidence, you stop looking outside of yourself for guidance or approval. You trust in your intuition, knowing that the answers you seek are within. This kind of self-trust is invaluable, as it allows you to move with purpose and clarity. You no longer waste energy trying to fit into others' expectations, for you understand that real confidence is not about conforming but about expressing your true self. When you embody unshakable confidence, you give yourself the freedom to be who you are without apology or hesitation. You are no longer bound by the fear of judgment or rejection, because your sense of self-worth does not depend on anyone else's perception of you. This confidence also grants you resilience, an ability to withstand criticism and adversity without losing sight of who you are. Life will always present challenges, and there will be moments when others doubt or misunderstand you. Yet with unshakable confidence, you are able to stand firm, knowing that your worth is not defined by others' opinions or by the inevitable ups and downs of life. Criticism, setbacks, and even failures become learning experiences rather than threats to your self-worth. You are able to absorb these experiences, learn from them, and continue moving forward without feeling diminished. The beauty of embodying unshakable confidence is that it is contagious. Those around you can sense it, even if they cannot name it. This confidence creates an aura of calm and assurance that draws people to you and inspires them to trust in their own abilities. Others may look to you as a source of strength, not because you seek their admiration, but because your confidence naturally exudes a sense of reliability and trustworthiness. This impact you have on others is an inevitable byproduct of your self-assured nature, a gift that you give without effort simply by being who you are. Confidence, when truly embodied, also opens doors in ways that would not be possible otherwise. Opportunities come to you not only because of what you can do, but because of who you are. People sense your belief in yourself, and it inspires them to believe in you as well. This confidence becomes a magnet, attracting experiences, connections, and possibilities that align with your inner strength and purpose. It allows you to navigate challenges with grace and to approach opportunities with openness, unburdened by self-doubt. In embodying unshakable confidence, you become fully aligned with your purpose and potential. You recognize that you are worthy of every good thing that comes to you, and you are no longer held back by limiting beliefs or insecurities. You understand that confidence is not a finite quality that can be lost or taken away, but is an intrinsic part of who you are. This confidence is ever present, waiting for you to acknowledge and embrace it. When you live from this place of unshakable confidence, you experience a profound sense of freedom. You are no longer limited by fear or by the need to control every outcome. You are able to move through life with a sense of ease, knowing that no matter what happens, you will be okay. This is the essence of true confidence, not a reliance on circumstances or achievements, but a deep-seated trust in yourself. It is a quiet, steady presence that supports you in every moment, allowing you to live fully, authentically, and courageously. To embody unshakable confidence is to reclaim your power, to recognize that you are the creator of your life, and to move forward with a certainty that is unyielding. It is a choice to see yourself through the lens of possibility rather than limitation, to trust in your ability to rise to any occasion, and to know that, at your core, you are strong, capable, and worthy beyond measure. This confidence is not something to be performed but to be lived. It is an expression of the highest truth of who you are, whole, complete, and fully capable of navigating all that life brings. It is shifting your identity, not your environment, is a powerful approach to creating lasting transformation. Often, when faced with challenges or dissatisfaction, we instinctively look to change our external circumstances, our job, relationships, location, or possessions, hoping that altering these will bring the fulfillment we seek. However, true change starts from within, by shifting who we believe ourselves to be. This shift in identity is not about superficial changes, it is about altering the core beliefs and assumptions we hold about ourselves and what is possible for us. When we change our identity, our environment naturally begins to shift in response, aligning with our new sense of self. Our identity shapes our thoughts, decisions, and actions, often unconsciously dictating what we think we deserve, how we interpret experiences, and the possibilities we are willing to consider. If we hold an identity that is rooted in limitations or scarcity, no amount of external change will fully address the root of our dissatisfaction. For instance, a person who sees themselves as unworthy may attract relationships or situations that reinforce this belief, no matter where they go. However, when they begin to view themselves as deserving of respect and love, the relationships they attract, and even the way they experience the world, transform without the need to alter external conditions. When we shift our identity, we redefine our relationship with ourselves and with life. We start to see opportunities where there were once limitations, solutions where there were once problems. Rather than approaching life as something to be battled or struggled through, we begin to approach it as a field of possibility that reflects our inner state. For example, someone who shifts from seeing themselves as a passive participant in life to a creator of their own reality finds empowerment. Suddenly, they are no longer waiting for circumstances to change, they are actively shaping their experiences based on their new self-perception. When our identity aligns with our desires, change occurs effortlessly. For example, someone who sees themselves as a disciplined, healthy individual will naturally make choices that support well-being. They do not need to force themselves into new habits because their behavior is a natural extension of their self-concept. On the other hand, a person who attempts to make changes without shifting their identity often struggles because their actions conflict with their self-image. Shifting identity creates a sustainable foundation for change because it addresses the root cause, the way we see ourselves and our potential. As we embody this new identity, our environment responds in kind. The opportunities, relationships, and circumstances that once aligned with our former self naturally fade away, while those that resonate with our new identity appear. This alignment is not the result of chance, but of resonance. Our environment reflects our beliefs, expectations, and sense of self. When we view ourselves as empowered, opportunities for growth and abundance become visible, and we attract experiences that affirm our new identity. This is why it is often said that light attracts like. When we shift internally, our outer world reflects these internal changes. The power of shifting identity lies in its ability to create lasting transformation. Changing our environment without addressing our identity is like rearranging furniture in a room where the walls remain the same. Eventually, the environment returns to its previous state, reflecting our unaltered beliefs and self-perceptions. But when we shift who we are at our core, we transform the walls themselves, so to speak, creating an entirely new foundation upon which our environment naturally reshapes itself. This internal shift creates a ripple effect, influencing every aspect of our lives in ways that are often subtle yet profound. Embracing a new identity also requires patience and self-compassion. The process is gradual, as deeply ingrained beliefs and habits take time to transform. There will be moments of doubt and resistance, times when the old identity seems to pull us back. However, by gently returning to our chosen identity, reaffirming our new sense of self, and envisioning the life that aligns with it, we gradually dissolve the power of the old and strengthen the new. Over time, this shift becomes second nature, and the new identity feels as natural as breathing. Shifting our identity, rather than our environment, gives us lasting empowerment. We realize that we are not at the mercy of external conditions, but are capable of creating a life that reflects our true aspirations and values. By aligning with a sense of self that is grounded in confidence, abundance, and self-worth, we allow the world to mirror back the potential we hold within. This journey of shifting identity is transformative, allowing us to step into a life that truly resonates with who we are at our highest level. The outer environment becomes a reflection, not the source, of our fulfillment and natural extension of the inner growth that begins by shifting the way we see ourselves. The silence of true belief is a profound, quiet assurance that does not seek recognition, validation, or constant reaffirmation. It is a knowing that runs so deeply within you that it requires no outward expression to be real. When you possess true belief, there is no need to convince others, for the belief itself is enough. This silence is not a withholding but rather a serene confidence that speaks through actions rather than words, an unspoken declaration that is present in how you move through the world. True belief holds an energy of its own, so powerful and self-contained that it naturally attracts the circumstances, people, and events that align with it. In a world that often encourages us to be loud, to proclaim our desires and prove our worth, the silence of true belief may seem almost radical. Yet, it is this very quietness that makes it so powerful. The power lies in the depth of certainty that comes from within, the unshakable trust that whatever you believe in is already yours, that your vision will come to pass in its own time. There is no rush, no need to shout it from the rooftops, because true belief exists independently of external validation. When you hold a silent, steadfast belief, you live as though your desired reality has already unfolded, unbothered by appearances that may suggest otherwise. True belief is an embodiment. It is the difference between hoping for something and knowing it is yours. It moves beyond mere optimism or positive thinking, diving into the realm of inner conviction. This conviction is not born out of evidence or logical proof, but from a deep sense of connection to the truth of your own desires. When you believe in something truly, it is not a mental exercise but a state of being. You carry yourself as though the outcome is inevitable, as if you are simply waiting for time to catch up to your inner reality. In this state, doubts and fears lose their power, because you are rooted in a foundation that transcends temporary uncertainties. The silence of true belief also means that you are not swayed by others' opinions or influenced by the ups and downs of circumstances. You do not feel the need to explain or defend your beliefs, because you know that they are valid regardless of what anyone else may think. Others may question you, doubt you, or even discourage you, but when you are grounded in true belief, these external voices have little effect. They cannot shake what is deeply ingrained within you. The silence of true belief is like an anchor, keeping you steady even when the waters of life become turbulent. You remain unmoved, secure in the knowledge that what you hold within is real. This silence does not mean passivity. On the contrary, true belief is incredibly active in a subtle, invisible way. When you embody true belief, you naturally take actions that align with this belief, often without conscious effort. These actions are not forced or planned but arise from the state of being that true belief creates within you. You begin to operate from a place of ease, taking steps that resonate with the reality you know to be true. This alignment between belief and action creates a flow, where things begin to unfold seemingly effortlessly, not because you are pushing or striving, but because your actions stem from a place of quiet conviction. In the silence of true belief, you understand that there is no need to struggle or chase. The belief itself is magnetic. It draws to you the people, opportunities, and resources needed to bring your vision to life. When you hold true belief, you are not in a state of wanting or lacking, but of having and being. You recognize that everything you need is already within reach, and so you move with a calm assurance, knowing that what is meant for you will come to you at the perfect time. This patience is not passive waiting, but a dynamic, living faith that allows life to unfold without resistance. The silence of true belief also brings a profound sense of peace. You are no longer haunted by doubts or plagued by fears, because you know that your belief is enough. You are not seeking guarantees, because you have already decided within yourself that your vision is real. This peace is a powerful presence. It radiates from you, affecting those around you. People may not understand it, but they can sense it. There is a calmness in your demeanor, a quiet confidence that does not require explanation. Others may wonder why you are so sure, why you do not waver, but the silence of true belief needs no explanation. It is a language of its own, one that speaks through quiet strength. When you hold true belief, you are free from the need to seek constant evidence or to obsess over outcomes. You do not need to see the full path, because you trust that each step will reveal itself in its own time. This surrender does not mean giving up control, rather it is an empowered state of allowing. You are still actively creating, but from a place of trust rather than force. You understand that your belief is a seed planted within you, one that will grow and bear fruit in its own time. There is no need to dig up the seed to see if it is growing, because you know that growth is happening beneath the surface, unseen but certain. The silence of true belief, then, is a profound act of faith. It is a way of living that requires no fanfare or public displays. It is a quiet inner knowing that all is well, that what is meant for you cannot miss you. In this silence you find freedom from the opinions of others, from the demands of the external world, and from the need to control every outcome. You live in the quiet assurance that your belief is enough, that your vision is unfolding perfectly, and that, in time, it will reveal itself in ways more beautiful than you could have imagined. This is the essence of true belief, a silent, unwavering presence that holds within it the power to transform your life. Releasing resistance through acceptance is a powerful way to align yourself with the flow of life and to experience true peace. Resistance often arises when we attempt to control, fight against, or deny situations that we find uncomfortable or undesirable. This resistance consumes our energy, creates tension, and places us in a constant state of inner conflict. When we resist, we are essentially rejecting the present moment as it is, pushing against reality instead of embracing it. This struggle creates suffering because what we resist persists, holding us in a place of discomfort, frustration, and even resentment. But by choosing acceptance, we release this resistance and allow ourselves to experience life as it unfolds. Acceptance is not about giving up or settling. It is not a passive act or a resignation to unwanted conditions. Rather, it is a conscious decision to stop opposing what is and to open ourselves to the present moment. Acceptance allows us to acknowledge reality as it stands without judgment or criticism. It is a form of release, an act of surrender that enables us to let go of our attachment to how things should be. This letting go doesn't mean that we become powerless or inactive. On the contrary, it frees us from inner turmoil, clearing the way for us to make choices with clarity and to respond to life in a constructive, empowered way. When we release resistance, we stop wasting energy on thoughts of blame, anger, or frustration. We no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but instead approach situations with openness and curiosity. Acceptance helps us understand that challenges and obstacles are a part of life, and instead of seeing them as setbacks, we start to see them as experiences that contribute to our growth. When we embrace acceptance, we gain the power to transform situations from within, recognizing that true strength comes not from control, but from adaptability and resilience. The situation itself may not change immediately, but our response to it shifts, and this shift can change everything. One of the fundamental insights of acceptance is realizing that we cannot control everything. Often we resist situations because they make us feel vulnerable, powerless, or uncertain. In these moments, we may try to force outcomes, manipulate circumstances, or impose our will to create a sense of control. However, this control is usually an illusion. Life is full of uncertainties, and trying to manage every detail only leads to frustration and disappointment. By accepting what we cannot change, we free ourselves from this need for control and find peace in simply allowing things to be as they are. Acceptance also helps us let go of our attachment to specific outcomes. When we are deeply attached to a particular result, we create expectations that may not align with reality. These expectations become a source of resistance, as we are constantly comparing what is happening with what we believe should happen. When reality falls short of our expectations, we resist it, which only deepens our frustration and disappointment. By releasing our attachment to specific outcomes, we allow ourselves to be open to a range of possibilities. This openness allows us to experience life fully, without the limitations imposed by rigid expectations. We may even find that what life brings us is better than what we had envisioned. Acceptance fosters a mindset of gratitude and appreciation. When we stop resisting, we start noticing the beauty and lessons in our current circumstances, however challenging they may be. Even difficult experiences contain valuable insights if we are willing to look for them. Acceptance invites us to shift our focus from what we lack or what is wrong to what is present and available to us now. This perspective can be incredibly liberating, as it allows us to see that every moment holds value, that each experience contributes to our journey, and that there is always something to appreciate, no matter how small. The process of releasing resistance through acceptance also enhances our relationship with ourselves. When we resist, we are often reacting out of fear, insecurity, or a sense of inadequacy. Acceptance, however, teaches us to trust ourselves, to have faith in our ability to navigate whatever life presents. We become kinder and more compassionate toward ourselves, understanding that we are doing the best we can in each moment. This self-compassion allows us to release self-judgment and criticism, to accept our own humanity and imperfections, and to approach ourselves with love and understanding. Acceptance becomes an act of self-care, as we stop fighting against ourselves and instead offer ourselves the grace to simply be. Through acceptance, we develop inner resilience. Life is unpredictable, and we will inevitably encounter situations beyond our control. But when we cultivate acceptance, we strengthen our ability to remain steady and composed, even in the face of uncertainty. This resilience is not about never feeling pain or frustration, but about having the inner resources to move through these experiences without becoming overwhelmed by them. Acceptance teaches us that we have the strength to endure and adapt, that we are capable of finding peace even in difficult moments. Releasing resistance through acceptance is a journey toward inner freedom. It is a way of liberating ourselves from the constraints of fear, control, and attachment. By embracing what is, we become fully present, engaging with life instead of resisting it. We allow ourselves to flow with the natural rhythm of existence, to experience each moment without judgment, and to trust in the unfolding of our path. This freedom brings a profound sense of peace and contentment, a deep-seated joy that is not dependent on external conditions. We realize that we are always whole, always enough, and that our true power lies not in changing the world around us, but in changing the way we relate to it. Acceptance, in this sense, is the ultimate act of empowerment, a choice to embrace life in all its complexity, beauty, and unpredictability. Calm persistence is the art of moving steadily toward a goal, without the frenzy of forced effort, worry, or impatience. It's a powerful blend of quiet determination and unwavering focus, allowing one to maintain progress even when obstacles arise. Unlike the high-intensity push that's often associated with ambition, calm persistence is marked by a measured, composed approach that channels inner peace and resilience. This quality becomes particularly valuable in a world that often emphasizes immediate results and fast-paced action. Calm persistence, however, is rooted in the understanding that lasting success is not always about speed, but about consistency, patience, and a steady belief in one's direction. This form of persistence arises from a clear vision, a commitment to a purpose that goes beyond temporary challenges. When we are calmly persistent, we align ourselves with our goals in a way that does not rely on constant motivation or outward excitement. Instead, it's a grounded dedication, a deep inner choice to keep going regardless of circumstances. There may be moments of fatigue, doubt, or difficulty, yet calm persistence helps us recognize that setbacks are simply part of the journey. We accept them without letting them deter us, understanding that true progress is often incremental, and sometimes even imperceptible, until we look back and see how far we've come. One of the defining features of calm persistence is a trust in timing. Rather than forcing outcomes or becoming frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as desired, we develop a patience that is born of confidence. This confidence does not require constant reinforcement from others or proof of immediate success. It's the quiet knowledge that with each step, we are moving closer to our vision. This trust enables us to release the need to control every detail or to rush through the process. When we let go of the desire for instant results, we create the mental space to remain focused, creative, and adaptable. Calm persistence allows us to be receptive to new ideas and opportunities that might otherwise be missed in the haze of impatience. In practicing calm persistence, we shift our focus from achieving a final destination to embracing the process itself. Often we associate persistence with enduring hardship or pushing through obstacles with sheer willpower. Calm persistence, however, is about pacing oneself and honoring the natural rhythm of progress. This mindset encourages us to see each day's efforts as valuable, even if they seem small or insignificant. Over time, these consistent, steady actions compound, creating a foundation of strength and expertise. By focusing on the process, we free ourselves from the pressure of needing everything to happen immediately. We can take joy in each small step, knowing that they are all contributing to the larger picture. Also strengthens our resilience, which is crucial when facing inevitable challenges. When we are emotionally calm, we are better able to approach obstacles with a clear mind, free from panic or frustration. We are not reactive, nor do we view challenges as personal failures. Instead, they are simply opportunities to adjust our approach, to learn, and to grow. This mindset prevents us from becoming discouraged by temporary setbacks. By maintaining our calm, we conserve energy, allowing us to bounce back from disappointments with grace and determination. Calm persistence turns setbacks into learning moments and encourages us to keep going, no matter the circumstances. Another advantage of calm persistence is its ability to nurture sustainable motivation. While intense bursts of effort can be exhilarating, they are difficult to maintain over the long term. Calm persistence is rooted in a gentle, enduring commitment that doesn't rely on high-energy motivation, but rather on consistency and self-discipline. It's about doing what needs to be done, regardless of mood or circumstance. This steady approach allows us to avoid burnout, as we are not constantly pushing ourselves to extremes. Instead, we are pacing ourselves, maintaining a level of effort that we can sustain day after day. This sustainable approach keeps us energized and focused, allowing us to make progress without exhausting ourselves. It also fosters self-compassion. When we are calmly persistent, we allow ourselves to be human, acknowledging that there will be good days and challenging days. Rather than criticizing ourselves for not meeting certain milestones or for making mistakes, we learn to be patient and forgiving. This self-compassion strengthens our resilience, making it easier to stay on track without getting bogged down by self-judgment. By accepting our imperfections, we create an environment in which we can continue moving forward without the burden of guilt or frustration. Calm persistence, therefore, becomes a practice of kindness toward ourselves, encouraging us to keep going with gentle determination. There is a quiet confidence that doesn't need constant external validation. We know our direction, and we trust ourselves to get there. This inner trust allows us to move forward without constantly questioning our worth or our choices. Instead of seeking approval or praise, we find satisfaction in our own progress, in the quiet victories that come from showing up day after day. This self-assurance makes us less vulnerable to the opinions of others or to the pressure to conform to others' timelines. We become centered within ourselves, able to follow our own path without distraction. Is a way of being, a commitment to steady, purposeful action that values the journey as much as the destination. It's about cultivating patience, resilience, and trust in the face of uncertainty. This quality allows us to meet life's challenges with grace and confidence, knowing that each effort, no matter how small, is contributing to our growth. Calm persistence teaches us that success is not a race but a steady progression, one that requires both strength and gentleness. As we embrace calm persistence, we discover a powerful inner resource, an unwavering commitment to our goals that carries us forward with peace and purpose. is the quiet yet powerful approach that allows us to journey through life with resilience, patience, and unwavering focus. By embracing this steady, composed mindset, we align with the natural rhythm of progress, allowing each small step to bring us closer to our vision. This calm dedication not only sustains us through challenges, but also frees us from the pressures of rushing or constantly seeking validation. Calm persistence becomes a guide that leads us towards success while keeping us grounded, balanced, and at peace with the journey itself. Thank you. It is time to step back, to quietly close the door on the noise of the world and retreat into your own presence. In a world that constantly pulls at you, that demands your time, your energy, and your spirit, there is a strength, a rare strength in choosing silence. Not silence out of bitterness or anger, but a silence that says, I am more than what is seen, more than what you could possibly imagine. Often we find ourselves bound by invisible threads, threads woven by the people around us and the beliefs we adopt from the world. Each person we meet, every relationship we form, and each opinion that passes through our minds creates these threads, tying us to perceptions that may not truly belong to us. We live our lives responding to the demands and expectations of others, adapting to their perspectives, bending to their judgments, until the weight of these threads pulls us down. In doing so, we forget that our life is not meant to be a mirror of someone else's journey. Each person's purpose, growth, and journey is unique, and to live fully, one must release these threads. To truly rise, to elevate beyond the limits of others' judgments, we must release. But releasing does not mean abandoning. It is not an act of rejecting the world around us, but of finding freedom within it. Releasing is a quiet, internal action, a letting go of what we were never meant to carry. We must let go of the need for approval, the weight of opinions, the desire for validation, and the tendency to adjust ourselves to meet the expectations of others. For many, this process seems daunting, even selfish, but in reality, it is the most liberating and compassionate thing we can do for ourselves and for those around us. When we release, we reclaim our authentic selves. The burdens of external validation vanish, allowing us to step into the boundless freedom of being who we truly are. There is no person, no opinion, and no expectation more powerful than your inner knowing, the voice within that gently guides you toward a life filled with meaning and joy. And as you release the weight of others' expectations, you begin to rise naturally, effortlessly. This inner release creates a lightness, a buoyancy that allows you to transcend the boundaries you once thought unbreakable. As you rise, you'll find a heightened perspective that changes your view on life. Relationships take on a new depth because they are no longer based on need or approval, but on mutual respect and true connection. Each interaction becomes a choice rather than an obligation, and every person in your life has a purpose, aligning naturally with the person you are becoming. You no longer feel the need to impress, to mold yourself, or to carry weight that was never yours to bear. Instead, you rise with ease, lifted by the power of your own authentic self. To release and rise is an invitation to live a life of integrity, a life where you are grounded in your truth. This act of release is an opening, an expansion that invites greater abundance, joy, and alignment into your life. Your energy, once dispersed in meeting the demands of the world, is now concentrated, focused, and potent. In this new state, you become the architect of your experience, the creator of a reality that reflects the innermost desires of your heart. Rising requires courage, but the rewards are beyond measure. As you release, you create space within, space for transformation, for growth, and for a life that's a true expression of your soul. The journey may be solitary at times, but it leads to a place of connection more profound than any external validation. This is the beauty of releasing, the freedom to rise without restraint, anchored in the truth of who you are. In a world buzzing with voices, demands, and distractions, silence is often overlooked. It's seen as empty, void, or a lack of engagement. But silence, when embraced fully, holds a profound strength, a force that transcends words and external validation. True silence is not merely the absence of sound or action, it is the presence of self-awareness, of focus, and an undisturbed alignment with one's own inner voice. It allows us to step away from the chaos of the outer world and enter a realm of inner clarity and power. Silence is where we return to ourselves, where we reconnect with the core of our being. When we engage in constant conversation, explanations and validations, we are constantly externalizing our energy, seeking feedback from others, and scattering our attention. Silence calls us to pull back that energy, to focus it inward, and to listen. In this space of stillness, we discover the wealth of wisdom and insight that resides within us, waiting to be uncovered. The wisdom that comes through silence is not one taught by others, it is a knowing that emerges naturally when we give ourselves the time to simply be. When we stop speaking for the sake of filling the silence, we begin to hear what is actually needed to move forward with intention. Silence gives birth to perspective, to an awareness of what truly matters and what is merely noise. In our quietude, we become the observer of our own lives, and we begin to see with clarity the motivations, desires, and fears that drive us. We can assess our lives without the pressure to respond, justify, or act out of alignment with our truth. This is where silence becomes a true strength, where the power of restraint grants us the patience to choose our responses wisely and live authentically. We cultivate self-control, an attribute often forgotten in the frenzy of modern life. We learn to master our impulses, our emotions, and our need for immediate gratification. It is in the quiet moments that we build resilience and fortitude, qualities that allow us to withstand life's inevitable challenges with grace. Instead of reacting, silence teaches us to pause, to reflect, and to respond from a place of inner knowing. This grounded response is far more impactful than any hurried reaction, as it stems from a well of inner peace, rather than fleeting emotions or external pressure. Silence is not passive, it is deeply active. In this quiet space, we conserve our energy, directing it toward the intentions and dreams that matter to us. We begin to radiate a calm, magnetic presence that attracts the right opportunities and relationships without the need for constant self-promotion. Those who witness this strength may not understand it fully, but they will sense the authenticity and peace that emanates from within. In silence, we are not seeking approval, nor are we driven by the need to prove ourselves. We are simply aligned with our truth. The strength of silence lies in its subtlety. It demands nothing but offers everything, inviting us to live with integrity, to stand firm in our beliefs, and to lead with the quiet assurance that only those who have known stillness can embody. Silence is, in many ways, the ultimate power, as it allows us to act from a place of certainty, rooted in our own unique purpose. When we embrace silence, we discover a strength that words could never convey, a strength that transforms our lives from within. In a world overflowing with stimuli, distractions are an ever-present force, pulling us away from our true purpose and scattering our attention in countless directions. Yet, beneath the pull of external noise and constant demands lies a quiet power, detachment from distraction. This detachment does not mean withdrawing from life or its richness. Instead, it means cultivating a focus so strong that external influences no longer have the power to sway us from what matters most. When we master this art, we create a space within where clarity, purpose, and intention can thrive, untouched by the chaos of the outside world. The allure of distraction is often subtle. It comes in the form of endless notifications, the latest trends, and the urgent demands of others. These distractions do not always seem harmful, some even appear enjoyable, offering temporary relief or excitement. Yet over time, they fragment our energy, creating a mind that is scattered and unable to sustain deep thought or concentrated action. True detachment is the conscious decision to rise above these distractions, to recognize them for what they are, temporary diversions that drain our energy and dilute our focus. Detachment from distraction begins with awareness. We must first acknowledge the forces that vie for our attention and recognize the impact they have on our well-being, productivity, and inner peace. This awareness allows us to make deliberate choices about where we direct our attention and how we spend our time. When we choose to detach, we are not ignoring or repressing these distractions, we are simply observing them without allowing them to command our focus. This form of detachment builds a mental resilience that protects our inner world from being infiltrated by every passing whim or fleeting trend. With each distraction we release, we reclaim a portion of our energy, which can then be directed toward pursuits that align with our highest values and aspirations. In this space, we find that our creative potential is heightened, our decision-making becomes sharper, and our ability to pursue our goals intensifies. By removing the clutter from our lives, we gain the freedom to dive deeply into the things that truly matter, cultivating a life of depth rather than a life of surface-level stimulation. As we detach from distraction, we also open ourselves to a greater sense of inner peace. No longer controlled by external forces, we find stability within. The world around us may continue to swirl with activity and noise, but we become grounded, rooted in a clarity that transcends the superficial. This peace allows us to respond to life's challenges with wisdom and grace, rather than reacting impulsively to every shift in our environment. Our relationships improve as we bring our full presence to them, and our sense of self strengthens as we discover who we are beyond the roles, labels, and expectations society places upon us. Detachment from distraction is not a one-time act, but a daily practice, an ongoing commitment to live with intentionality. Each time we choose to focus on what truly matters, we strengthen our capacity to resist the pull of trivial distractions. This practice fosters a profound self-mastery, a sense of control over our own mind and destiny. In this state, we are no longer swept away by the ebb and flow of external events. Instead, we become the architects of our experience, free to create a life that aligns with our vision. The true power of detachment lies in the freedom it brings, the freedom to live deeply, authentically, and with a purpose that is uniquely our own. This is the gift of choosing our focus, of rejecting the superficial in favor of the profound, and of embracing a life rooted in clarity and intention. Is our most valuable resource, yet it's often squandered without consideration on trivial matters and unfulfilling pursuits. Every thought, interaction, and task requires energy, and once spent, that energy is not easily replenished. The concept of energy conservation, then, is not only about managing physical resources, but also about managing our own mental, emotional, and spiritual energy with purpose. To conserve energy effectively is to cultivate a life of intentionality, focusing on what truly nurtures our growth, aligns with our values, and serves our highest aspirations. In modern society, distractions are abundant and energy drains are everywhere. We constantly face demands on our attention from social media, endless emails, superficial relationships, and even our own habitual thoughts. Each interaction or engagement, whether online or in person, draws from our reservoir of energy, often leaving us feeling drained and lacking the vitality needed for our most meaningful endeavors. Recognizing these energy leaks is the first step toward conservation. When we understand where our energy is going, we can make more conscious choices, choosing only those engagements that elevate our spirit rather than deplete it. To conserve energy, it is essential to develop a mindset of discernment, to become aware of the situations and people that energize us versus those that drain us. This often requires setting boundaries, of practice that can be difficult but transformative. By setting firm limits on where we place our focus and who we allow into our inner circle, we create an environment that supports our well-being. This means learning to say no without guilt, recognizing that each yes to something external is a no to something within. When we prioritize ourselves in this way, we protect our mental and emotional reserves, ensuring we have the strength and resilience for what truly matters. Energy conservation is not just about reducing engagement, it's about increasing focus on activities that genuinely replenish us. Meditation, time in nature, creativity, and genuine connection with loved ones are all examples of activities that restore our energy rather than consume it. These are moments of alignment where we connect with our inner purpose, and they provide nourishment for the mind, body, and soul. By consciously making time for these practices, we build an internal reservoir of energy that can sustain us through life's challenges. In this process, it's crucial to cultivate a habit of self-reflection, tuning into our inner needs rather than external pressures. By listening to our own rhythms, we become attuned to when we need rest, solitude, or quiet moments of contemplation. Ignoring these needs leads to burnout, as the constant expenditure of energy without restoration drains our ability to function effectively. Honoring our natural cycles allows us to create a sustainable pace, where our energy is renewed rather than depleted. Conserving energy is an act of self-love, a commitment to prioritize our own well-being so that we may live from a place of fullness rather than lack. When we conserve our energy, we are able to show up more fully in our relationships, in our work, and in our own personal journey. In this state, we become powerful, clear, and intentional, capable of manifesting a life that reflects our true essence and contributes positively to the world. By valuing our energy, we honor ourselves, and in doing so, we create a life of depth, resilience, and profound inner peace. Aligning with one's inner vision is an art of tuning into the core of who we are and allowing that understanding to guide our choices, actions, and perceptions. In a world that often emphasizes external achievement and societal standards, it can be challenging to remain connected to this inner vision. But when we do, life begins to unfold with clarity and purpose, creating a powerful alignment between our deepest desires and our lived reality. This alignment requires self-awareness, commitment, and the courage to trust that what we envision within has the potential to become our external reality. Our inner vision is a unique blend of our values, dreams, and the authentic expressions of our soul. Often it whispers quietly beneath the noise of daily life, waiting for us to pause, listen, and acknowledge its presence. Unlike fleeting desires, our inner vision doesn't waver with trends or circumstances. It holds steady, reflecting our truest intentions and goals. To align with this vision, we must first cultivate the habit of stillness and introspection, giving ourselves space to hear the voice within. Practices like meditation, journaling, or spending time in solitude can help us tune in to what our intuition is revealing. Once we connect to this vision, the next step is commitment. Aligning with our inner vision isn't just a matter of feeling inspired. It's a practice of staying dedicated to our values and long-term goals, even when the path becomes difficult or unclear. This commitment often requires us to let go of attachments to external validation, approval, or conventional definitions of success. Instead, we learn to measure our progress by how deeply our actions resonate with our inner truth. We become less influenced by outside opinions, and we start to trust in our own guidance, recognizing that our path is unique and doesn't need to conform to others' expectations. As we align with this vision, our decisions naturally shift. Our priorities become clearer, and we begin to gravitate toward activities, people, and environments that support our inner purpose. In this process, obstacles transform from roadblocks into opportunities for growth, as they prompt us to refine our vision further and make necessary adjustments. We develop resilience and focus because our motivation is now anchored in something much deeper than superficial rewards. By following this path, we feel a profound sense of fulfillment, knowing that we are honoring our true self. This alignment also opens us to synchronicities, moments where life seems to offer unexpected support or guidance, often when we least expect it. These moments are not coincidences, but rather indications that we are in harmony with the energy of our vision. When we commit to our inner path, life responds, bringing people, resources, and opportunities that propel us forward. Each small alignment reinforces our trust in this process, helping us see that the universe mirrors our inner intentions. Aligning with inner vision is ultimately a journey of self-empowerment. It allows us to step away from a reactive existence, where we are constantly adapting to external circumstances, and instead live from a place of purpose and intentionality. By grounding ourselves in our inner truth, we become the creators of our own experience, actively shaping a reality that reflects who we are at our core. This is a powerful place to be, a life where each action, each thought, and each connection resonates with our most profound aspirations. It is a way of living that brings. Mystery holds an inherent power, an allure that pulls us toward the unknown with a sense of awe and wonder. In a world that often strives to explain, categorize, and define every element of life, mystery remains an enchanting invitation to go beyond what we know, to explore the vastness that lies beyond the reach of our current understanding. Rather than something to be feared or eliminated, mystery is a vital force that ignites curiosity, fuels imagination, and keeps life dynamic and full of potential. Mystery compels us to embrace life's uncertainties. There is a deep beauty in not having all the answers, for it humbles us, reminding us of our own limitations and encouraging us to expand. It teaches us to live with openness, a willingness to receive experiences without the need for complete understanding. Mystery is what breathes life into possibility, allowing us to imagine outcomes beyond our logical grasp and to pursue dreams that defy conventional limits. In this way, mystery fosters growth, nudging us toward the unknown with a sense of adventure rather than a need for security. When we lean into mystery, we also deepen our sense of wonder. Too often, as adults, we lose the childlike fascination with the world, the joy of being surprised or captivated by something new. Embracing mystery rekindles this sense of awe, allowing us to see life with fresh eyes and an open heart. It shifts our perspective, transforming ordinary moments into portals to the extraordinary. The sunrise, a stranger's smile, the complexities of human connection, all become richer and more meaningful when we approach them with the knowledge that there is more beyond what meets the eye. Mystery teaches us patience and acceptance. Not every aspect of life is meant to be understood or controlled, and sometimes the answers we seek unfold only when we allow them the time and space to reveal themselves. In a culture that often demands immediate results and instant gratification, mystery encourages us to slow down, to linger in the beauty of the unknown, and to trust that life has its own rhythm. This patience is a form of surrender, an acknowledgement that there is a greater intelligence at play, and that some mysteries are meant to remain untouched. The power of mystery also lies in its ability to deepen connection both to ourselves and to others. In relationships, for instance, mystery keeps us intrigued and attentive, recognizing that there are always layers to a person's essence that remain hidden and waiting to be discovered. We begin to appreciate that true intimacy does not come from fully knowing another, but from an ongoing curiosity and reverence for their complexity. Likewise, mystery within ourselves, the depths of our emotions, dreams, and untapped potential keeps us engaged with our own journey of self-discovery. Mystery enriches life by allowing us to move beyond rigid boundaries, expanding our awareness and opening us to the infinite possibilities that exist in every moment. It invites us to embrace the questions, to welcome uncertainty, and to celebrate the unknown with a sense of reverence. By surrendering to mystery, we step into a profound trust in life's unfolding, allowing its wonder to shape our experiences and bring meaning to our journey. Through mystery, we glimpse the vastness of existence and are reminded that there is always more to explore, more to learn, and more to become. In embracing the power of mystery, we step into a world where life remains vibrant, full of potential, and endlessly rich in meaning. By allowing ourselves to be guided by curiosity rather than certainty, we welcome the beauty of the unknown and the thrill of exploration. This openness brings us closer to our true selves, deepens our connections with others, and enriches each experience with wonder. So let us continue to trust life's unfolding, honoring its mysteries with gratitude and reverence. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unseen. Ladies and gentlemen, today I invite you to explore the transformative journey of learning to be happy alone in your life. In a world that often glorifies companionship, we sometimes overlook the profound joy that comes from being in our own company. Solitude is not a state of emptiness, it is a fertile ground for self-discovery and growth. Self-discovery is a profound and ongoing journey that invites us to delve into the depths of our inner selves. It is the process of exploring who we are, what we value, and what truly brings us joy. This journey often begins when we find ourselves alone, facing moments of solitude that compel us to turn inward and examine our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. In these quiet moments, we discover that the path to self-awareness is not just a destination, it is a continuous evolution that shapes our identities and experiences. Self-discovery can feel daunting. Many of us are conditioned to seek external validation, measuring our worth against societal standards or the expectations of those around us. We often look to others for approval and affirmation, believing that happiness is found in relationships, careers, or material possessions. However, this reliance on the external world can lead to disappointment and a sense of emptiness when we inevitably confront the limitations of these sources of fulfillment. In solitude, we are presented with an opportunity to shift our focus from the outside world to our inner landscape, where true happiness resides. As we embark on this journey, we learn to cultivate self-compassion and acceptance. The act of being alone allows us to confront our fears and insecurities without the distractions of social obligations. We begin to understand that our imperfections are part of our humanity. In this space, we can practice self-forgiveness and learn to embrace our flaws as integral aspects of our unique identities. This shift in perspective is crucial because it lays the foundation for a more profound understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Exploring our values and passions is another vital aspect of self-discovery. In moments of solitude, we can ask ourselves meaningful questions. What do I truly care about? What activities ignite passion? What dreams have I put on hold? These inquiries prompt us to examine the essence of our being and reveal the motivations that drive us. By engaging with our interests, whether through creative pursuits, hobbies, or intellectual exploration, we begin to uncover aspects of ourselves that may have been hidden under the weight of societal expectations. Self-discovery is an empowering process that fosters resilience. As we learn to navigate our emotions and embrace our authentic selves, we become better equipped to handle life's challenges. Solitude provides the clarity needed to develop coping strategies that resonate with our unique perspectives. We learn to trust our instincts and make decisions aligned with our core values. This newfound resilience becomes a guiding light during difficult times, reminding us that we are capable of overcoming obstacles and growing from our experiences. Mindfulness and presence play significant roles. By cultivating a practice of mindfulness, we become more attuned to our thoughts and feelings. This awareness allows us to observe ourselves without judgment, creating a space for exploration and growth. Engaging in meditation, journaling, or simply spending time in nature can deepen our connection to the present moment and enhance our self-awareness. These practices help us to pause, breathe, and reflect, facilitating a more profound understanding of our inner selves. The journey of self-discovery is a celebration of individuality. It invites us to embrace our uniqueness and recognize that our paths are not meant to mirror those of others. Instead, we learn to honor our own experiences, dreams, and aspirations, paving the way for a more authentic existence. As we uncover our true selves, we discover that happiness is not a distant goal, but a state of being that arises from within. By embracing solitude as a transformative space for self-discovery, we unlock the door to a richer, more fulfilling life, one where we can thrive in our own company and create a reality that reflects our deepest desires and values. The power of imagination is one of the most profound tools available to us as human beings. It is a gift that allows us to transcend the limitations of our current circumstances and envision new possibilities. Imagination is not merely daydreaming or fantasy. It is a dynamic force that shapes our realities and influences our perceptions, emotions, and actions. When we tap into the power of our imagination, we open the door to creativity, innovation, and personal transformation, enabling us to craft a life that resonates with our deepest desires. At its core, imagination is the ability to visualize scenarios, concepts, and emotions that may not currently exist in our tangible world. This capacity to picture the future, to create vivid mental images, and to explore ideas is what sets us apart as a species. It enables us to dream big, to aspire to greatness, and to overcome challenges. When we imagine, we are not bound by the present. We can explore multiple outcomes and possibilities, creating a mental space where anything can happen. This imaginative process is crucial for personal growth. When we visualize our goals, we engage in a powerful practice that aligns our subconscious mind with our desires. Imagine setting a goal for your career, for instance. By vividly picturing yourself in a specific role, feeling the emotions associated with that achievement, and envisioning the steps you need to take to reach that destination, you effectively program your mind for success. This mental rehearsal prepares you for the challenges ahead, fostering a sense of confidence and determination. The more vividly you can see and feel your desired outcome, the more real it becomes to your subconscious, guiding you to take actions that align with that vision. Imagination serves as a wellspring of creativity. Artists, writers, inventors, and thinkers throughout history have harnessed their imaginative faculties to produce groundbreaking work. The creative process often begins with the ability to envision something that does not yet exist, to conceptualize ideas that challenge the status quo. This creative imagination is not confined to the arts, it extends to all areas of life, including problem solving in business, innovation in technology, and advancements in science. By allowing ourselves to think freely and explore various possibilities, we cultivate a mindset that embraces creativity and encourages new solutions to emerge. Imagination plays a crucial role in our emotional well-being. When we face difficult times or challenges, our imagination can provide a sanctuary. Through visualization, we can create mental escapes that transport us to peaceful or joyful places. Whether it's imagining a serene beach, a lush forest, or a moment of personal triumph, these mental images can bring comfort and solace in stressful times. By focusing on positive and uplifting scenarios, we can shift our emotional state, fostering resilience and hope. The act of imagining also enhances our ability to empathize with others. When we engage our imagination, we can step into another person's shoes, envisioning their experiences and feelings. This ability to empathize is crucial for building meaningful connections and understanding the diverse perspectives that exist in the world. By imagining the thoughts and emotions of others, we develop compassion and a deeper appreciation for the complexities of the human experience. To harness the power of imagination effectively, we must practice it intentionally. Regularly setting aside time for creative visualization can help strengthen this skill. Techniques such as guided imagery, meditation, or simply engaging in free writing can foster a rich imaginative landscape. As we cultivate our ability to visualize, we become more adept at creating the reality we desire. This practice allows us to clarify our goals, align our intentions, and take inspired actions toward manifesting our dreams. Furthermore, imagination is an invitation to challenge our limiting beliefs. Often we impose boundaries on ourselves based on past experiences or societal expectations. By tapping into our imagination, we can break free from these constraints, envisioning lives that may seem out of reach. This process encourages us to redefine what is possible and to aspire to greater heights. The power of imagination is a remarkable force that shapes our lives in profound ways. It allows us to envision new possibilities, tap into our creativity, enhance our emotional well-being, and cultivate empathy. By embracing and nurturing our imaginative faculties, we can transform our realities and create a life that reflects our deepest desires and aspirations. Imagination is not merely a tool for dreaming, it is a catalyst for action and change, reminding us that we have the power to shape our futures and manifest our greatest visions. Emotional independence is a fundamental aspect of personal growth and well-being, representing the ability to manage one's emotions without relying excessively on others for validation or support. It involves cultivating a strong sense of self that allows individuals to experience their feelings authentically while maintaining a sense of stability and resilience. Achieving emotional independence can be a transformative journey, leading to greater self-awareness, healthier relationships, and a more fulfilling life. At its core, emotional independence begins with self-awareness. To understand our emotions, we must first acknowledge their existence and the underlying reasons for them. This self-awareness empowers us to recognize our triggers, those situations or interactions that evoke strong emotional responses. By becoming attuned to our feelings, we can discern whether they stem from external circumstances, such as the actions of others, or from internal beliefs and perceptions about ourselves. This understanding is crucial because it enables us to take responsibility for our emotions rather than attributing them solely to the behavior of others. Cultivating emotional independence also involves developing coping strategies that help us navigate life's ups and downs. Rather than relying on friends or partners to lift our spirits, we can learn to self-soothe and find comfort within ourselves. This might include practices such as mindfulness meditation or engaging in hobbies that bring us joy. By developing these coping mechanisms, we build emotional resilience, allowing us to face challenges without becoming overwhelmed by feelings of despair or dependence on others for support. The process of self-soothing can be particularly empowering. It encourages us to explore what makes us feel grounded and content, fostering a deeper connection to ourselves. Another critical component of emotional independence is setting boundaries in relationships. It is natural for us to seek support from those we care about, but it is essential to establish healthy boundaries to avoid overdependence. Boundaries help define what is acceptable in our relationships and protect our emotional well-being. By communicating our needs and expectations clearly, we can foster healthier interactions with others while preserving our autonomy. This practice not only reinforces our sense of self, but also encourages others to respect our emotional space, creating a balanced dynamic where both parties can thrive. Furthermore, embracing vulnerability is a key aspect of emotional independence. Many people fear vulnerability, equating it with weakness or inadequacy. However, being open about our feelings and experiences is an essential part of emotional growth. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create authentic connections with others, fostering deeper relationships based on mutual understanding and respect. This openness also helps to dispel the myth that we must always appear strong and composed. Accepting our vulnerabilities allows us to share our authentic selves with the world, enriching our emotional experiences and fostering a sense of community. Self-acceptance is another vital factor in achieving emotional independence. We must learn to embrace our imperfections and recognize that everyone has strengths and weaknesses. This self-acceptance nurtures a positive self-image, allowing us to approach life with a sense of confidence and assurance. When we fully accept ourselves, we are less likely to seek external validation, as our worth is rooted in our understanding of our value as individuals. This shift in mindset can be transformative, liberating us from the constant need for approval from others. Developing a strong sense of purpose can bolster emotional independence. When we are driven by our passions and goals, we cultivate an inner motivation that sustains us through challenges. This sense of purpose acts as a compass, guiding our actions and decisions. By focusing on our personal growth and aspirations, we create a fulfilling life that is not contingent on the opinions or actions of others. This empowerment reinforces our emotional autonomy, as we learn to rely on ourselves to achieve our dreams and navigate life's complexities. In the process of cultivating emotional independence, it is essential to remember that this journey does not mean isolating ourselves from others or dismissing the importance of relationships. Rather, it is about finding a balance where we can connect with others while maintaining our emotional stability. Healthy relationships enrich our lives, providing support and companionship, but they should not be the sole source of our emotional well-being. Emotional independence is a lifelong journey that requires ongoing self-reflection, practice, and patience. It is about embracing the fullness of our experiences, recognizing our emotions as valid, while also understanding that we have the power to manage them. So, by cultivating self-awareness, developing coping strategies, setting boundaries, embracing vulnerability, and fostering self-acceptance, we can achieve a profound sense of emotional independence that enhances our overall well-being. This journey empowers us to live authentically, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with confidence and grace, rooted in the understanding that our happiness and fulfillment are ultimately our responsibility. The beauty of solitude is a profound experience that often goes unappreciated in our fast-paced, interconnected world. In a society that glorifies constant engagement and social interaction, solitude is frequently misunderstood as loneliness or isolation. However, embracing solitude can lead to deep personal insights, creative breakthroughs, and a sense of peace that is often elusive in the hustle and bustle of daily life. Learning to find beauty in solitude can transform our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. When we allow ourselves the space and time to be alone, we create an opportunity for self-reflection. Solitude provides a sanctuary where we can turn inward and engage with our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs without the distractions of external noise. In these quiet moments, we can contemplate our lives, evaluate our choices, and explore our desires and aspirations. This self-reflection is essential for personal growth. It allows us to understand who we are at our core, separate from societal expectations or the influence of others. Through this process, we can identify our strengths and weaknesses, enabling us to cultivate self-awareness and authenticity. Solitude fosters creativity. Many artists, writers, and thinkers have attested to the power of solitude in nurturing their creative processes. When we are alone, we remove the constraints of social judgment and expectation, allowing our imaginations to roam freely. In solitude, we can engage in deep, uninterrupted thinking and exploration of ideas that may otherwise be stifled in social settings. The quiet space allows for new insights to emerge, fostering innovation and artistic expression. Whether through writing, painting, or brainstorming, solitude can serve as a fertile ground for creativity to flourish. The beauty of solitude also lies in its ability to cultivate mindfulness and presence. In a world filled with distractions, taking time to be alone helps us reconnect with the present moment. We can immerse ourselves in our surroundings, whether it be the sound of rustling leaves, the warmth of sunlight on our skin, or the scent of a blooming flower. This connection to the present enhances our appreciation for life's simple pleasures and invites us to experience joy in the here and now. Mindfulness cultivated in solitude fosters a deeper sense of gratitude, reminding us of the richness of our experiences and the beauty that exists in our everyday lives. Solitude can also be a powerful teacher, offering insights into our emotional landscapes. When we are alone, we confront our thoughts and feelings without the filters that social interactions impose. This confrontation can lead to a deeper understanding of our emotional responses and patterns. Rather than suppressing uncomfortable feelings or distractions, solitude encourages us to sit with them, allowing us to process and heal. This emotional exploration is essential for developing resilience and emotional intelligence, equipping us with the tools to navigate life's challenges more effectively. Solitude provides the space for spiritual growth and contemplation. For many, being alone allows for deeper connections to their spirituality or personal beliefs. In the absence of external distractions, we can engage in practices such as meditation, prayer, or simply quiet reflection, fostering a sense of connection to something greater than ourselves. This spiritual exploration often leads to profound insights and a more fulfilling sense of purpose, enriching our lives in ways that are often overlooked in the chaos of everyday existence. It's important to recognize that solitude is not synonymous with loneliness. Loneliness often stems from a feeling of disconnection from others, while solitude is a conscious choice to embrace our own company. When we shift our mindset to view solitude as a gift rather than a burden, we begin to appreciate the beauty that comes with it. Learning to enjoy our own company enables us to build a healthy relationship with ourselves, fostering self-love and acceptance. Engaging with solitude intentionally can also improve our relationships with others. When we take the time to understand ourselves and our needs, we become better equipped to connect with others meaningfully. Solitude allows us to recharge emotionally, so when we do engage with the world, we do so from a place of authenticity and strength. This renewed energy enhances our interactions, allowing us to contribute positively to our relationships. The beauty of solitude lies in its ability to provide clarity, creativity, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. It is an invitation to explore our inner landscapes, cultivate mindfulness, and nurture our emotional and spiritual growth. In a society that often prioritizes constant connection, embracing solitude can be a radical act of self-care. By recognizing the value of being alone, we can cultivate a richer, more fulfilling life that celebrates the beauty of our own company and the endless possibilities that arise from within. Embracing solitude is not about retreating from the world, it is about finding strength, clarity, and joy in the stillness, allowing us to engage with life more fully and authentically. Affirmations and beliefs are powerful tools that shape our perceptions, influence our emotions, and ultimately dictate our actions. At their core, affirmations are positive statements that we repeat to ourselves, while beliefs are the deeply held convictions that guide our thoughts and behaviors. Together, these two elements create a framework that can either empower us or hinder our growth, depending on how we choose to use them. Understanding the relationship between affirmations and beliefs can unlock a transformative path toward personal development and fulfillment. Affirmations serve as a means of reinforcing positive thoughts and counteracting negative self-talk. Often, our inner dialogue can be filled with doubt, criticism, and limiting beliefs that hold us back from reaching our potential. For instance, we might tell ourselves that we are not good enough, that we will never succeed, or that we are unworthy of love and happiness. Such negative affirmations can create a cycle of self-sabotage, leading to feelings of inadequacy and despair. In contrast, using positive affirmations allows us to challenge these harmful narratives. By consciously choosing to speak kindly to ourselves and affirming our worth, we begin to reshape our internal dialogue. The process of using affirmations involves more than mere repetition. It requires intention and belief. For affirmations to be effective, they must resonate with our core values and aspirations. This means selecting statements that genuinely reflect what we desire to embody. For example, rather than simply repeating "I am successful," a more resonant affirmation might be "I am capable and deserving of achieving my goals." This subtle shift creates a deeper connection to the affirmation, making it more impactful. Affirmations can serve as a catalyst for changing our beliefs. Our beliefs are often formed through past experiences, societal influences, and conditioning. They act as filters through which we interpret our experiences and interactions. However, many of these beliefs can be limiting, preventing us from pursuing our dreams or exploring new opportunities. By consistently practicing affirmations, we can gradually shift our beliefs to align with our true potential. This process is not instantaneous, it requires patience and dedication. However, over time, affirmations can help to dissolve limiting beliefs, replacing them with empowering ones. The power of affirmations is particularly evident in the context of goal setting. When we set ambitious goals, it is common to encounter self-doubt and fear. Affirmations act as a supportive mechanism during this journey. By affirming our abilities and commitment to our goals, we cultivate a mindset that is resilient and focused. For instance, someone aiming to start a new business might use affirmations like "I have the skills and resources to create a successful venture," or "I embrace challenges as opportunities for growth." These statements not only boost confidence, but also reinforce a proactive approach to overcoming obstacles. Another significant aspect of affirmations is their role in fostering self-love and acceptance. In a world that often emphasizes external validation, it can be challenging to develop a healthy sense of self-worth. Affirmations encourage us to recognize our intrinsic value, irrespective of our accomplishments or others' opinions. When we consistently affirm our worthiness, we begin to cultivate a loving relationship with ourselves. This self-love forms a solid foundation for resilience, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. It is essential to recognize that affirmations alone are not a panacea. They should be accompanied by action and self-reflection. While affirmations can change our mindset, they must be supported by behaviors that align with our new beliefs. For example, if someone affirms that they are capable of public speaking, they must also take steps to practice and develop that skill. This alignment between thought and action is crucial for creating lasting change and reinforcing the new beliefs we seek to cultivate. The impact of affirmations extends beyond the individual. When we adopt positive beliefs and affirmations, we influence our interactions with others. A person who believes in their own worth is more likely to treat others with kindness and respect. This positive energy creates a ripple effect, fostering supportive relationships and environments. By embodying empowering beliefs, we contribute to a collective atmosphere of positivity and growth. Affirmations and beliefs are integral components of our personal development journey. By consciously choosing positive affirmations, we can reshape our internal dialogue, challenge limiting beliefs, and cultivate self-love and acceptance. This transformative process empowers us to pursue our goals with confidence and resilience. However, it is crucial to complement affirmations with action and self-reflection to create lasting change. As we embark on this journey of self-discovery and growth, we must remember that our beliefs shape our reality. By embracing the power of affirmations, we unlock the potential within ourselves to live authentically and fully. In doing so, we create a life that resonates with our deepest values and aspirations, leading to greater fulfillment and joy.
Cultivating a rich inner life is a journey that invites individuals to explore the depths of their thoughts, emotions, and imagination. In a world that often prioritizes external achievements and societal validation, developing a vibrant inner world can provide a profound sense of fulfillment and meaning. A rich inner life fosters creativity, self-awareness, and emotional resilience, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with grace and authenticity. This journey requires intentional practice and mindfulness, allowing us to connect with ourselves on a deeper level. At the heart of a rich inner life lies self-reflection. Taking the time to engage in introspection allows us to examine our thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This practice fosters self-awareness, helping us understand our motivations, desires, and fears. Self-reflection can take many forms, including journaling, meditation, or simply sitting in quiet contemplation. By dedicating time to these practices, we create a space where we can explore our inner landscapes without distraction. This exploration reveals patterns in our thinking, unearths hidden beliefs, and enables us to confront unresolved emotions. As we delve deeper into our inner selves, we gain clarity about who we are and what truly matters to us. Imagination plays a crucial role in enriching our inner lives. Engaging our imaginations allows us to envision possibilities beyond our current circumstances, opening the door to creativity and innovation. This imaginative capacity is not limited to artistic pursuits. It permeates all aspects of life. By allowing ourselves to dream and envision new experiences, we cultivate a mindset that embraces exploration and adventure. This imaginative process can lead to new ideas, solutions to problems, and even a fresh perspective on challenges we face. The act of daydreaming or visualizing our ideal lives can serve as a powerful motivator, encouraging us to take action toward our goals. And the essential element of a rich inner life is emotional literacy, the ability to recognize, understand, and express our emotions effectively. By cultivating emotional awareness, we create a deeper connection to ourselves and our experiences. This involves acknowledging our feelings without judgment, whether they are positive or negative. Embracing the full spectrum of our emotions allows us to process them healthily and constructively. This practice enhances our emotional resilience, enabling us to respond to life's challenges with greater adaptability. Furthermore, when we understand our emotions, we can communicate them more effectively in our relationships, fostering deeper connections with others. Mindfulness is a powerful tool in the cultivation of a rich inner life. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to remain present in the moment, fully engaging with our thoughts and feelings without becoming overwhelmed. Mindfulness encourages us to observe our inner experiences with curiosity rather than judgment. This non-reactive awareness helps us develop a greater understanding of our thought patterns and emotional responses, allowing us to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. Through mindfulness, we cultivate a sense of peace and grounding, which enriches our inner lives and enhances our overall well-being. A rich inner life is nourished by continuous learning and personal growth. Engaging with literature, philosophy, art, and diverse perspectives broadens our understanding of the world and ourselves. Exploring new ideas and concepts can stimulate our curiosity and inspire us to think critically about our beliefs and values. This intellectual exploration nurtures our inner lives by encouraging us to question assumptions and seek deeper truths. Embracing lifelong learning fosters an attitude of growth, helping us adapt to change and approach life with an open mind. Connecting with nature is another vital aspect of cultivating a rich inner life. Spending time outdoors can be incredibly grounding and restorative. Nature invites us to pause, reflect, and connect with the world around us, whether it's taking a walk in the woods, sitting by a river, or simply enjoying the beauty of a sunset. These experiences can spark inspiration and wonder. Nature encourages us to embrace stillness and simplicity, providing a counterbalance to the noise and distractions of modern life. This connection to the natural world fosters a sense of belonging and reminds us of the interconnectedness of all living things. Cultivating a rich inner life encourages us to embrace solitude. In solitude, we find the space to connect with our thoughts and emotions deeply. Rather than fearing solitude, we can learn to appreciate it as a time for self-discovery and growth. Solitude offers us the opportunity to recharge, reflect, and engage in creative pursuits without external distractions. By embracing our own company, we can cultivate self-acceptance and build a strong foundation for our inner lives. Cultivating a rich inner life is an enriching journey that invites self-discovery, creativity, and emotional resilience. Through self-reflection, imagination, emotional literacy, mindfulness, continuous learning, connection with nature, and the embrace of solitude, we can create a vibrant inner world that nourishes our spirit. In a society that often prioritizes external validation, nurturing our inner lives allows us to find fulfillment and meaning beyond the surface. By investing in our inner landscapes, we equip ourselves to navigate life with authenticity and grace, ultimately leading to a more profound sense of connection to ourselves and the world around us. This journey toward cultivating a rich inner life is a lifelong process, one that continually evolves and deepens, revealing the beauty and complexity of the human experience. In conclusion, cultivating a rich inner life is a journey of self-discovery, creativity, and resilience that transforms not only our relationship with ourselves, but with the world around us. Through mindful self-reflection, imaginative thinking, emotional awareness, and embracing solitude, we can uncover a wellspring of inner peace and fulfillment that doesn't depend on external circumstances. By connecting with nature, nurturing our curiosity, and welcoming growth, we create an authentic and meaningful life, grounded in who we truly are. Let us embrace the beauty of this inner journey, remembering that the deepest joys often arise from within. Thank you for being open to this exploration. May this inspire you to nurture your inner world, enriching each moment of your life. Thank you.